Welcome back to Legendary Lunacy. I am Lord Papa Lunacy, your co-host here. With me, as always, is my right-hand man,
Shadow Man Randy reporting for duty.
Now, what we got for you today is a delightful little video here. The crazy thing is, this list is so long, and we like to talk so much because we like to hear our own voices, that we're going to break this up into probably 3 parts. Let me show you how many videos we got to go, or movies we got to talk about here. This is just the ultimate horror movie list. Now, gonna be fair, as big as this is not every horror movie. There's hundreds and hundreds of horror movies out there. I mean, some of these, I'm pretty sure most of these I've seen, or have heard of at least. And there's even some on here that or some that aren't on here that I have seen and everything. But this is just one of the biggest lists we could find, and we want to try and give you guys as much content as possible. And this seemed like a fun one to do, so we went ahead and we made the list, the tiers as best as we could. So for S is the top of the top. That's going to be like the cream of the crop, our favorite movies. It might not necessarily be the best movies ever, but of all horror movies that we have, we're probably going to try and put as few as possible up here because these are our iconic picks. Next is Almost Peak. It's movies that almost made it to that top of the top, but aren't quite our favorites. B is going to be Good Enough. The horror movie is good enough. It's enjoyable. Next we got C, Middle Ground. It's just an okay movie. Not good, not bad, just okay. Then D is Subpar. There's a lot lacking in the film. Followed by that is Garbage. Below that is So Bad It's Good, because with horror movies you've got to have a couple of those.
Yeah.
And then Never Seen It's on the bottom. There was another category in here. What was it called again?
Oh, it was called Would Rather Watch a 1943 Japanese silent white and black movie.
Which I don't know how the hell... I don't know how to incorporate that into the list, so we just got rid of that one. But I think all in all, I think we're going to be good. So we're going to try and break these up into about 20 minutes apiece. So be easy little bite-sized bits for you to be able to enjoy. But if you like it, if you enjoy this, maybe we could try and piece it together, make a full long video if you enjoy the long form stuff later on. But for now, we're gonna try and give you guys some more stuff to watch in bits and pieces here. So anything else you'd like to say to the group before we get started, man?
I got nothing. Let's get it.
Let's get into this. All right. First things first. Let's start off with American Psycho. It's got to be up there, honestly.
I was thinking A because we talked about this earlier, and we did a slashers tier list, and we said ranking him as a slasher, we put him at B. But ranking the movie itself, the movie was fantastic.
That's true. I agree with that 100%.
So I think that's an Almost Peak movie for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, and something we could do, let's go ahead and let's forget S tier for now. Let's rank everything A below, and then once we get to the very end, then we can go through and pick our favorites out of the A tier.
Okay.
Or out of the garbage or whatever if we want. We'll go from there.
Yeah, and the S tier's got to be, me and you both agree.
Yeah, that's fair. We have to agree that it's
the top of the top.
Yeah. Next up, we got Wrong Turn. I think it's the first Wrong Turn. Now, I didn't watch these ones a lot. I don't know if it's the first, second, or third. I have a copy of the third one, I think, in a movie pack I bought.
Yeah. I thought they were... Yeah, I think kind of good, you know?
Middle ground or good enough, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
For a slasher franchise, it's you want to go C tier or B tier?
Probably C tier.
Yeah, I think they're kind of forgettable.
It doesn't jump out at me when I think of top movies. So
that's fair. The Vivitch, or the Witch as they pronounce it, I guess.
This was a very good movie. However, I don't know. Maybe
we'll go good enough for now.
Good enough.
I enjoyed this one. It's scary. Well, and the thing for me too is religious horror. I've always found very terrifying.
Yeah.
Because I've always been a kind of religious guy.
It was really well made, and
yeah,
I liked it a lot. So
I will say one of the most iconic scenes in that movie is one of the most terrifying. Is when she finally meets the he who shall not be named kind of character. You know, and what's the line? There's a specific line. Would thou like to live deliciously? Right before the end.
Oh, yeah,
very freaky.
The devil, man.
Yeah, scary stuff, man. Texas Chainsaw. It's one of the remakes.
This looks like Texas Chainsaw 3D, which
ooh, yeah,
I hated.
You hated that one?
Well, I mean, it was middle. If it is 3D, 3D was middle. I don't know which one this is though.
I think you're right. I think it's Texas Chainsaw 3. Yeah, there's the 3D. Did you say subpar for that one?
Yeah, subpar, middle ground. It wasn't my favorite.
Yeah. We'll put it middle ground for now, and if it starts to get full, we realize we need to move something down. We'll move that one because if that's the one I'm thinking of, I was not a big fan either. 28 Days Later. Ooh, I'm looking forward to the new one coming out for that.
Yeah, 28 years later, I believe.
I think so, and it's
because they have 28 days and they have 28 weeks.
Yep, and then 28 years.
Yeah,
That's gonna be good. I think that one's That one's good enough. Maybe A tier. I'm gonna say good enough.
Yeah, I would say B tier for that. It was good, but it wasn't like.
It was one of the better like zombie style movies because
Yeah.
it made me think of, there's a comic book called Crossed where it's like a virus that makes you get like a rash of a cross across your forehead and underneath your eyes, and it makes you act out your most violent fantasies like uncontrollably. It's terrifying, and like that whole comic used to scare me. So that movie was being exactly that is terrifying too. Alien 3. Alien 3 is the one where it's on the prison planet, right? I think.
God, I don't remember.
I think so. Yeah, and that one...
That's been a long time since I've watched the Alien movies.
I'm going to say subpar. I love the Alien, like the franchise. Alien 3 pissed me off so much. I think it is, because Alien is on the ship with the one alien. Aliens is... Because the first one's a horror movie. The second one's an action flick, and it's awesome. And then Alien 3, they just... Like, at the end of the second one, you've got the main character, Ellen Ripley, awesome. Very strong female character that's badass. Then you've got Hicks, who's like her right-hand man, who like he taught her how to use the gun right and everything. And like they were partners. They were partners in crime. They're awesome. They had like the chemistry, but they didn't make it weird or anything. And then you had Newt, the little girl they saved. They're like the only survivors, plus the robot. And then they're like, all right, we're going to pass this off to the next director. And the next director said, cool, kill all of them. All of them except for Ellen. And it's like, what the fuck? So yeah, no,
I want my own story, damn it.
In fact, it was so the ending or the beginning of Alien 3 was so hated that they created a fan comic, which is supposedly canon. I don't know if it's fully canon or not. Where like they wrote a whole story as to how the guy that died at the beginning with Newt was not the guy that died. Like they said he survived and got out.
It wasn't him. It wasn't him.
It wasn't him, man.
As I get dragged into the asylum.
Yeah. They throw me in a straitjacket. It wasn't him! Hicks is alive! He's alive! Next, we got the original Alien. That's got to be A tier. That is one of the best sci-fi horror films ever.
Sure. I'm down with that.
Yep. Alien Resurrection, that's another subpar.
Yep.
Actually, I'll say Alien Resurrection goes, well, I'd say middle ground. Because, like, I'll put it at subpar for now. The reason I say that is just because I hate Alien 3 so much. I want to make Alien...
for Alien 3 is driving down the other Alien movie.
Well, it's driving up the other Alien movie. But, like, so Alien Resurrection's whole thing was, like, they after the end of 3, when she killed... Well, okay, spoiler alert, she killed herself. And they revive her with her DNA, but she has an alien baby in her. So when they revive her, she has alien power. It's a weird concept. It's like they dove into like the comic book origins or whatever. Like
that sounds like they listen to fans a little bit too closely.
Yeah, that's why I was like, maybe it should just stay at subpar.
She should get... No.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
I think subpar is fine.
Here comes every single Nightmare on
Nightmare.
Elm Street. Now, I'd like to hear your opinion about this. I think the original and Dream Warriors are A tier.
Dream Warriors. Was Dream Warriors one of the
I think
ones?
it's the third one. It's the one where they're all in like the mental institution, and they all have like powers to fight Freddy in the dreams.
It's been so long since I've seen the rest.
I loved that one, and that one's pretty well accepted by everybody.
Yeah.
The other ones are, they're Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but for the classics, I think the first and that one were my favorite.
Yeah.
And then I've watched the other ones, and I really like Dream Warriors. I really like the first one.
Yeah. Well, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and we'll put the first one up here in A tier because it's amazing. Then this one, it looks like is number 2. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, I think
the third one is Dream Warriors, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It's either 3 or 4.
Well, here, let me look it up real quick. I'll find out which ones are which.
And it also has a badass song that came with it. We are the Dream Warriors.
Is that the one that's by, like, it's by Docket or Tesla or something? Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Franchise in order, okay. I forgot we were looking at Leprechaun movies earlier.
You want me coin, huh?
Me coin. Oh, come on. Franchise. Films. Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Freddy's Revenge is the second one. Gosh, I don't remember much. Dream Warriors... That might be... Yeah, okay. It looks like... So, Wes Craven came back with that one.
Yeah.
With Dream Warriors. So, 2 is apparently bombed. That's why they brought back Wes Craven for 3. And so, I'll put Dream Warriors up here.
I loved Dream Warriors. It was a very good one.
Okay, we'll put that at peak then. The second one, did you care for that one, Freddy's Revenge? Because that was where like they made it. He wasn't just a dream person anymore. He was like in the real world.
All of the rest of them were like mid to me, except for those two. Of the originals, that is.
Dream Master.
I don't even remember it. I don't even remember the other ones that well because of they were just all kind of like whatever, you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd have to rewatch.
We'll go ahead and put the others at middle ground. I think 5 is the Dream Child. We'll put that there. Is there New Nightmare on here anywhere? Let's skip through.
See the remake. But
there's New Nightmare right there.
No, yeah, you could put that.
I'm gonna put this. Just since we're doing Friday or Nightmare on Elm Street right now, I would say New Nightmare was one of my favorites growing up. It was probably the original and then New Nightmare, because it was like a new spin on it.
Yeah, I mean I'm down for that.
And then so for the Nightmare remake, what do you think?
The remake I thought was good. I didn't think it was like peak.
Yeah, I don't quite think it was almost peak either. I think New Nightmare was probably good enough.
Yeah.
Jackie Earle Haley almost saved it all the way, and like the people they had in it were great. It's just
it was just kind of like, you know. I don't know what my gripe with it is. It's just like it was just kind of good enough for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything that I like remember specifically being amazing.
Yeah. So the one thing that like I liked the gore aspect. It was like terrifying. Like when she has the nightmare in school and like sees the body bag that stands up.
Yeah.
Like that was freaky. One thing that got a lot of flack when was like people said that they hated the new one because they made Freddy I'm trying to think how I can word this without getting demonetized or anything.
They made him a no-no
with the kids.
With the kids.
Yeah. And it's like, and I'm not defending it or anything, I'm just saying, like, isn't that what he was the entire time? Like,
it was.
He preyed on kids.
That was the story, even in the originals.
Yeah, they just never came out and said
They just never really showed that aspect. In that one, they showed a lot of it.
Yeah.
That was the main plot.
For the new
was how evil he was because of all that stuff.
Yeah. Which is, pretty screwed up. But, I mean, it's a horror movie. So.
I mean, and it just showed, like, it demonizes Freddy and how bad of an evil person he was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't hate it. You know what I mean?
It's good enough. Is this one Bride of Chucky?
That looks like Bride of Chucky.
Yeah. Bride of Chucky, I would say middle ground.
Yeah, because I think people did like Bride of Chucky.
Yeah, and I didn't mind it.
Yeah. I don't, to be honest, I haven't watched.
If I remember right, the doll flashes her tits in that one.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, that's peak. Get that shit up there.
Child's Play 2.
Dude, I don't remember anything from the old Chuckies. Like, I watched them, but...
I'm going to say subpar. The original Child's Play, the first one was alright. But, like, the rest, it's kind of like you said. It's just kind of like, all falls to the wayside. The Conjuring 2. I think Conjuring 2 was good enough.
I thought Conjuring 2 was... Yeah, probably good enough. I thought Conjuring 1 was very good.
Yeah. Would you say 2 or good enough or middle ground for Conjuring 2?
If it were me, I'd say middle ground.
That's fair. We'll put Conjuring 1 up at almost peak.
Yeah, because that one was great.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
It was like the first of its kind. So.
The Cult of Chucky. I've not seen this one. Have you seen the Cult of Chucky?
I believe that's a TV show.
Ooh.
The new one.
I'm gonna put never seen it.
Yeah,
I don't
that's fair.
Don't want to piss anybody off. And then Curse of Chucky. I don't know if that's.
Also, I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna say never seen it either. Cause like I said, I watched the first one. I thought it was okay. Watched the second one. I thought it was kind of stupid. And then
Evil Dead.
It's Evil Dead 2. So like the first one is great. I'll say the first one's good enough. Evil Dead 2, where they just kind of like said, okay, screw it. Well, let's just make Ash the main character, and just kind of redid the first movie with the new main character.
Yeah.
I think Evil Dead 2 just nailed it, knocked it out of the park. Exorcist, I think that's another A tier.
Gotta be A tier. It's a classic. Everyone's seen it.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, we are in the works of a Exorcist parody. Don't watch it while you're eating. It's gonna be disgusting. We're going for kind of gross out humor, and I think it's gonna be really funny. But it's also
and might get us banned.
It might.
Might get the channel shut down.
Well, if it gets to that part, we'll just pull the video and put it up somewhere else.
YouTube might.
Check it out on Rumble. No.
It'll be a piece of lost media.
Piece of lost media. Yeah, that's fair. Oh god, all the Final Destination movies. I mean, they're not bad. It's just
Final Destination 1 was very good.
Final Destination. So they've got 5, 4, 3, 2.
The first one's just gone, apparently.
Yeah, the best one, arguably. It's got to be around here somewhere.
It's in there. It has to be. Like, there's no...
How could it not be? Did they really get all of the Final Destinations except for the first one?
It's a picture of a skull, just like the rest, so... it's gotta be there somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna turn up eventually.
We'll see it.
Yeah, it'll pop up and we'll be like, oh, there it is.
The only one I would say is maybe above middle ground for the rest of them is 3 because of the iconic log truck scene.
That's the second one.
Oh, that's the second one?
Second one's the log truck, which we'll go ahead and we'll say that one's good enough.
Yeah.
Final Destination 3 was the roller coaster, which that was one of the first ones I saw as a kid.
We can put it good enough, middle ground, whatever.
Let's do middle ground. This one's middle ground as well. And I say this because, like, Final Destination is pretty much just gore porn. Like,
yeah, it's just like, death porn.
Yeah, and it's like, the thing I liked about the first one especially was, like, a lot of the deaths seemed, while outlandish, were kind of like, I don't know, it was,
Plausible.
I was gonna say plausible, really easy to explain. It's like, there's death always kind of interfered, especially in the first one, like, the puddle that came out and spilled and then came back and stuff.
Also, in the first one, they, like, it was more focused on, like death as an entity.
Yeah.
Because you could see him. Like, you could see the shadow come in.
Shadows come in and stuff. Yeah, I liked that about the first one, which, when it gets here, I think I'll put first one in peak, because it's pretty iconic. Yeah. And you're right, the log scene in the second one is
the log scene in the second one has everyone afraid of driving behind the log truck. So.
Oh, dude. I see that every time we're out on the highway.
Every millennial and old Gen Zer all have that fear.
I will say, the fifth one, I think, it's supposed to be, supposed to be the Final Destination. I think that one is good enough as well.
Okay. Because
the ending twist was so good. Because I never caught... Did you ever see that one?
No. I mean, I've seen them all, but it's been so many years now.
So I don't put spoiler warnings in all these videos, just because we talk about all the stories and stuff.
If you don't want to hear this, skip 35 seconds.
Yeah. So the big twist is that the fifth one's actually a prequel. Like, I never noticed this. If you go back and watch the Final Destination, and I think it's Final Destination 5, you watch it all the way through and you don't really think about it. It's just like how everything's going. And then at the very end, like, they get on the plane and they're getting ready to fly out, and this guy gets dragged off the plane. It's the guy from the first movie when they're flying out to Paris.
Oh, and they die.
And he's like, what the hell? And they all die on the plane. And so, like, when you go back and watch it a second time, you're like, oh, they're using Nokia phones that don't flip. They're using, like, there's all these little things. Like, you see a calendar in the background at one point. It's the date before the first movie takes place. And, like, at one point when he says, look, we're going to get out of here, we're going to have fun. He's like, I got the tickets for fine. And for just a second, you can see it says Paris, and it says 1999 or whatever, whenever the
yeah, it was,
the
I
first
think it
one.
was like 1999, 1998.
Yeah, like and so it was like there's all these little Easter eggs. When you watch it the second time, you're like, oh, I appreciate that more.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And that's why I think it's good enough. Like, it was one of my favorites of the Final Destination franchise. The deaths were a lot stupider, I think, in the fifth one, but like
yeah.
the whole, the movie was better, I think.
Fair enough.
Next, The Fly and The Fly 2.
No idea.
You don't no idea? Well, Seth Brundle was the scientist, and as a kid, I remember watching this the first time, being like, "That's me! I'm the guy!" And then I watched it happen to him, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So I'm gonna go The Fly. I'm gonna go good enough. I'll go peak. I think The Fly was the second one I've not seen.
The Fly peak.
The Fly is peak.
Original Friday the 13th.
That's got to be almost peak too.
It's got to be.
Even though the man hands. What is this? Friday the 13th, Part 5. Jason still hunts full your next home.
Jason still hunts full your next home.
If Jason still haunts you, you're not alone.
To be honest, I have been on a bender of rewatching these old movies, and I have not gotten to 5, so I'm going to say I haven't seen it. I probably have before, but...
It's one of those, like, it's kind of like me with the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I'm going to put it middle ground, because I think I've seen them all once.
Yeah. With
my parents. Part 2 was good. It was good enough. This one's Friday the 13th 3D, I think.
No idea.
I'm just going to put it with the others.
All the ones that I haven't seen in a long time, I can't really judge them.
Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Yeah, good enough. That's close. Fright Night.
Fright Night.
I don't think I've seen this one. They made a remake with Colin Farrell. It's like if I remember right, like a kid has a guy move in next door who's like seems really cool, but he's a vampire.
Yeah. Fright Night, I I believe I've seen it, and it was okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Middle ground or subpar?
Probably middle ground.
Middle ground.
The Grudge 1? What is that?
I think it's The Grudge 2. It's the little Asian boy.
it's the cat boy.
The cat boy.
If that's The Grudge 2, we gotta know if it's The Grudge 1. Grudge 1 is peak.
Grudge 1 is pretty peak. Grudge 2, I'm gonna say subpar. I
don't even think I've ever seen Grudge 2, but Grudge 1 was damn.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, I was not. I might be remembering parts from Scary Movie 4.
Oh, yeah. Toshiba.
Toshiba teriyaki
Sama Benihana.
Sashimi. I'm gonna put it in never seen it because I might be remembering really.
Teriyaki.
Benihana teriyaki. Oh my god! Now we're gonna get demonetized.
Yeah, it's over now.
Okay, what time? 20 minutes. Okay, that's the 20-minute mark. So we're gonna end it with that mildly unsensitive bit right there. Here's what we've got so far for the movie tier list. You like what you see? We keep on watching because we'll have a new video here pretty shortly, and we hope you enjoy it. So as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the darkness around you because, my God, we are, and we're having a great time. Any other words for our parting guests?
Nope. I'll see you in the next.
All right, bye, guys.